Shamai! I'm Agile Dai, the workplace guy, and today's topic is workstation assessments. With so many more of us working from home, what we've noticed at Agile Therapy Clinic is that people coming in with aches and pains because of their poorly set up workstation. And the employer has an obligation to make sure that you're comfortable at your workstation. And you may have gone through a tick box exercise to get them to tick their boxes. And it just doesn't cut it. It's not very detailed, it's not very specific to you. And what Agile Therapy have made is a video workstation assessment that is tailored specifically for you. And to shed more light on this, we're going to speak to our Agile Therapy Physiotherapist, Rebekah.
Thanks, Dai. So as he said, I'm one of the physiotherapists here at Agile who are doing the workstation assessments. This new service that we're providing is completely virtual, and we have 2-camera capability, which means that we can see you from a couple of different angles to get the best view of your workstation, so we can give you a really effective service from the comfort of your own home or office. So during the assessment, we'll normally make a number of recommendations initially based on the things that you already have that are adjustable in your office. So that might be things like changing the position of your screen or chair, and we also follow it up with a report which summarises our findings from the assessment, and also then it gives us the opportunity to recommend to you any particular pieces of equipment that we think might be useful going forwards as well. The advantage of having a physiotherapist do your workstation assessment is that we already have the relevant knowledge, skills and expertise when it comes to things like anatomy, physiology and injury pathology, as well as experience in occupational health, which means that we can bring all of this knowledge together to create an experience that's really unique and individualised to you. It means that we can take into account pre-existing or current aches, pains and injuries. So for example, someone with a low back pain might need different considerations to someone who's got carpal tunnel syndrome. So I recently did a workstation assessment for Kirsty, so next I'm going to talk you through the 5 things that I changed about her workstation. So the first thing when I looked at Kirsty's workstation that I noticed was that she has 2 screens. They're both at different heights, and actually one of them was a bit too high and the other a bit too low. And also the way that she'd raised up her one screen on a box file meant that it was taking up too much space on the desk as well. So what we did here is we added in a monitor stand which can hold both of the screens side by side, which allows her a more seamless experience going from one to the other. And it means that we can adjust it to be at exactly the right height for her and also free up some space on the desk. And that leads us on to the second thing that we had to look at in her workstation assessment, which was space. So Kirsty has a slightly compact desk, so it's a little bit short, which is great for a small space, but what it did mean was that she was too close to the screen. So the way that we remedied this was we had desk extenders, which means that she can sit a little bit further away from the screen while still having her arms supported. This will reduce eye strain as well as keep her posture in a better position. So the next thing we looked at was the keyboard and the mouse. Now there are loads of different options for these, and it really depends on your individual requirements. Kirsty wasn't having any particular problems with hers, but I did notice that her wrists were slightly overextended when she was typing, and we really want to aim for a nice, relaxed, neutral position. But this is something that actually was fixed, not by changing the keyboard, but by raising the chair height. So this leads us onto the chair. So what we did with Kirsty is we actually, looking at the chair, it was a bit too big for her stature, so she didn't have enough space behind her knees and she couldn't comfortably put her feet on the floor. So we ordered her a new chair with a smaller base that's better fitted for her needs. When it arrived then, we were able to raise the height, which made her position at the keyboard more comfortable, and it also put her in a better position with the monitor. So that's sitting, and now on to arguably the most important thing, moving. So Kirsty, like many of you, she works 9 to 5. She's sat at an office for most of that time. And actually, even if you had the most perfect posture ever, staying in that position for 8 straight hours is really going to cause aches and pains no matter what. It's not good for anybody. The most important thing is to try and get up and get regularly moving. So I gave Kirsty a series of exercises that she can do throughout her working day to keep moving and stay agile. So that's the Agile Workstation Assessment. I hope that was a helpful overview for you. Thank you for listening, and I'll hand you back to Dai.
Thank you very much, Rebekah. That was wonderful, and I hope it was helpful for you. But remember, if you need a bit more help and you need a bit more reassurance about your workstation setup at home, then book yourself in with one of our Agile team and the link is below. So as always, I'd love to hear your comments. Give me one specific problem that you have with your setup at home. And remember, give us a like, ring that bell and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.